Okay, we're talking about still lives now. Still lives are very common in any of our drawing classes. It's the foundation of what we do. A lot of times when we put a still life in front, what happens is the students will look at an object and they'll say, okay, well, in the center over here, I have an apple. And what the student will a lot of times do is they'll take this apple, they'll put it in the center, they'll start drawing it, and then what will happen is they'll spend all this time going in here, shading it, and if they're doing a painting, they'll paint it. And then they'll do the apple, and then they'll move on to the next object, which might be a watering can. So they'll come over here, and they'll draw the watering can, and everything will be in its spot, and they'll spend a tremendous amount of time putting all the details in there. The problem with that is if the position is not correct. Let's say you made the apple too big. If you notice here, the apple is way too big for this watering can. So what happens is you spent all that time, you're most likely going to leave it. So what I prefer you to do is I prefer you to take your objects, and with a pencil, obviously, because you always want to draw lightly with a pencil, and extremely lightly. I'm doing it with a pen here just so you can see it on the camera. But you want to kind of just come in here and draw, okay, there's my apple. I'm not going to even draw the watering can in yet. I'm just going to draw the basic shape. So I might come in here and say, okay, well, this is the basic shape of my watering can. Then I say, all right, well, there's a window or some sort of object behind. I come over here and I say, all right, you know what? That's really good. Or, you know what? This needs to be a little taller. I look at it in, again, using that word juxtaposition. I take this and I move this up and say, all right, that's the size of it. Now, if all this is done lightly, once I have my basic shapes and I see how things overlap the position of each other, now I can say, all right, now I have that. Now I can turn this into that watering can very simply by now looking at that object and coming in here and starting to draw that watering can the way it's supposed to look. But again, if I spend too much time on each individual shape without getting the objects and their relationship to each other, it's very, very difficult. Anytime you're doing a still life, there should basically be 4 or 5 different shapes. Squares, you can use rectangles, you can use circles, you can use ovals, but don't get into too much detail until you like the way it is, and even the way it's just set up on the page. A lot of times when you're doing still lives, you'll do things like this, where you draw your shape, and you'll start off and you say, all right, I'm doing shapes like Mr. Musto asked me to do, so that seems to be working really well, but look at the space here. You have to use up your entire space. So going closer to this one uses up the page, a nice balance between your negative space and your positive. So when you're doing your still lives, set them up very lightly with pencil, get your shapes, get the shapes the way you want them, the objects how they're arranged next to each other, and then work. This is obviously way too small, so I would erase that and make it larger to fit the page better.